evening. Wisdom Eccentrics by Ngak'chang Rinpoche, chapter 45. This is the final chapter of the book, which includes Künzang Dorje Rinpoche's Namta and the long life wish path for Künzang Dorje Rinpoche and Joma Sampa, written by Dzogchen Rinpoche. Chapter 45, To Complete Liberation. In 1975, I asked Künzang Dorje Rinpoche if he would ever consider writing a namta, an account of his life and liberation. Yeah, he replied, possible, but maybe no purpose. Rinpoche said he'd think about it. In 1995, I asked again. Oh yeah, now possible. You made this request, I remember, in Sopema, and you still remember. Maybe you also write something one day? That was a slight shock. I would like to write about our time together and retell the stories you told me. Rinpoche laughed. Oh yeah, that you must tell. This will be of value to Western people. How well do you remember? That was easy to answer. It was as if it were yesterday, Rinpoche. My memory for some things is fairly average, but my time with you remains vivid. I can still remember many of the words you used, especially the word Tomyo. Oh yeah, Rinpoche laughed. Many times, I called you Tomyo. Künzang Dorje was a bad, angry man. Why did you stay? He laughed. Somehow I was back in Sopema again with an unanswerable question, or rather with an answer that added up to a book. Fortunately, although I probably still had crevices where the propensity to be a Tomyo lurked, I knew I could be humorous with him. I think I stayed, Rinpoche, because you liked my aristocratic Tulku's dark marine tuna so much. Rinpoche slapped his thighs, laughing at the mention of that tuna. Oh yeah, where is that tuna now? I don't know where it will be now, Rinpoche, but I gave it to Yeshe Dorje Rinpoche when I left Sopema that first time. Rinpoche smiled. Yeah, good. Yeshe Dorje passed away and your Tona passes away too. He has one incarnation now. Maybe your Tona has new incarnation too. We both rocked back and forth with laughter, and eventually I answered Rinpoche's previous question. I stayed, Rinpoche, because I knew you were my Mé-tsal Lama. You showed me the nature of mind. You showed me so many things. You helped me to see principle and function in everything, and without that, I'd have nothing to teach to anyone, anywhere. Now I think I can be of use to people. Before that... Oh, should I start again? Before that, I was no use to anyone, not even myself. Rinpoche wrote the text I requested, and I present it here as a testimony to the extraordinary life of this most extraordinary Lama. I was touched that he mentioned my name at the end of the text, as having been the one who requested it to be written, because I'm sure that many others must also have made the same request. He names me as Aro Tulku Chogyam, because he knew me to be the incarnation of Aro Yeshe, the son of Kyungchen Aro Lingma, the female Terton who revealed the Aro Ter. This short autobiography gives details of his family lineage, the lamas with whom he studied, the places he resided, and practices in which he engaged. It may not prove easy reading, but it provides a glimpse into the world to which I still had access from the 70s through to the end of the first decade of the 21st century. That world has gone now, and although the tradition remains, the unique ambience of an ancient culture entering the modern world has passed away. Namtar of Kyabje Künzang Dorje Rinpoche. My father's ancestral lineage was Horsog Dema. My family clan is the Jarig Tsepel Chawo, the bird tribe, which is descended from the lineage of Charig Ase. The bird tribe inhabited Sangjung Magyo Garden in the province of Ngak'chang. Magyo Garden was the province where the powerful Ngak'chang Rinpoche lived. He was the chieftain of Lotri Daegu, and he was known as King of Tigers and Leopards. During the time when Mon and Ling were at war, Ngak'chang Rinpoche manifested as Pawo Kutatok in order to help his people. After his victory in battle, the enemy of Ngak'chang Rinpoche's tribe boasted, "I am the protector Dorje Bernakchen of Druga province." On hearing of this, Ngak'chang Rinpoche, in the guise of Kulatok, rode forth to vanquish him. In this, Ngak'chang Rinpoche depended solely upon the prophecy of his Yidam and Lama. He dispensed with all conventional weaponry and protection, and girded himself with neither sword, armour, nor helmet. Ngak'chang Rinpoche was transformed into Pawo Kulatok by the protector Nyenchen Tangla, and Kulatok arose wearing the black hat and triangular sleeved gown of Dorje Bernakchen, carrying a meteorite iron purba in his belt sash. In the southern continent of Zambu Ling, there were the 4 powerfully athletic male heroes, and also Nyenchen Tangla from Drudag province. I am of the lineage of Ngak'chang Rinpoche, who manifested as Pawo Kulatok in order to help his people. In the Iron Horse year of the 16th Rabjung, before dawn on the 25th day of the 5th month, I was born as a son to my mother Dungdok and my father Ardok. 1 month after my birth, Dzigar Poltrul Rinpoche arrived in our village. He was asked to give me a name. Dzigar Poltrul Rinpoche was happy with this request and said, "This boy is the incarnation of Charong Drupchen," and named me Künzang Dorje. Dzigar Poltrul Rinpoche said, "I have named 13 children Dorje, and of these 13, Künzang Dorje is the foremost." When I was engaged in play as a 5-year-old, I saw a blue goat the size of a mountain. It was a terrifying spectacle. I called to my mother, who came immediately to my side, but when she came, the goat was no longer visible. Later, some lamas informed her, "This is the goat that Ngak'chang Dorje Legpa rides." When I was 7 years of age, I saw a beautiful girl wearing a dress completely ornamented with turquoise and coral. In her right hand she brandished a grigug. In her left hand she held a skull bowl. She also carried a lasso. I told my father and mother of this, and they told a lama, who said, "This was Palden Lamo." When I was 9 years old, I saw a red man the size of a mountain. He was stepping from one mountain peak to another. I told my mother and relatives. When asked, the Lama told us, "That is the protector Zang Riten Damropa Kyadun." When I was 15 years old, I went to the major teaching centre of Gomang to begin my studies. I resided for 7 years in the presence of Nyawang Palden and Gendun Yeshe, with whom I studied logic and philosophy. After that, I received the 4 mind turnings teachings from the Supreme Drigung Bulob Balog Tulku Rinpoche. I requested oral transmission from the Supreme Drigung Khandro Chuden Zangmo, and whilst in her presence I received many teachings and advice. At that time I also received many teachings from Tulung Dinka Tulku Rinpoche. From there I went to Tulung Tsopu, where I requested teachings from the 16th Gyalwa Karmapa, the Supreme Rigpai Dorje. Whilst at Tulung Tsopu, I also received many teachings from Khandro Urgyen Somo, the consort of the 15th Karmapa, Kya Kyab Dorje. I then requested and was granted the empowerment and transmission of the Pungpo Dzangkyo Gi Dampa Chud from Chigang Tsampa, a disciple of the 15th Karmapa who stayed in lifelong retreat. From there I went to Lhasa to visit Kyungpo Gyatong Tulku, from whom I requested the empowerment and transmission of the Jatsong Kunchi, the essence of the 3 jewels of the rainbow body. At Shugsep, I requested the empowerment and transmission of Chud from Drupchen Dawa Dorje. From Jetsun Chungwa Trinni Chudran, I requested the Namgyur of Milarepa and the empowerment of the wish-fulfilling wheel of the White Liberating Lady. I received many teachings from Ludrak Namkai Nyingpo, Senior. In Ludrak, at Bampa Samdrup Gompa, at the abode of Drupchen Chatsang, I requested the empowerment and transmission of the Jatsong Kunchi from Lupon Dorje Rinpoche. From there I went to Bhutan, where I received many teachings from the Dzogchen Kempo Nyawang Nobu's student, Kagyo Rinpoche, and also from Shakya Shri's student, Lupon Rignya. On the borders of central Tibet, at Jomo Gangkalung, I received many teachings from Zago Tsampa Rinpoche. In Golok, I received the Longchen Nyingtig teachings from Lama Chatrel Changchub Dorje. At Uyugling, in the province of Kadzong Zara, I received the Jatsong Kunchi from Shakya Shri's son, Apo Tsewang Rinpoche. At Kidrong, also I received the Jatsong Kunchi from Lupon Rig'dzin Rinpoche in his remote retreat place. In the area of Shangtu, in the district of Labutsong, I received the La Sun Chukko teachings from Karma Nyawang Rinpoche, the great meditator of Jambulung. I then went to East Kumbu, where I received the Minling cycle of teachings from Trulshig Nyawang Dunyak Chuki Ludro Rinpoche. In East Kumbu, I received the Chang'tae Dorje Pagmo Zabgya empowerment and instructions from Lagpa Rinpoche, the Lama of Kyarog Gompa. From there I went to Sopema, where I received the Nyingma Gyubum and other teachings from the Supreme Gawang, Kyabje Dujim Rinpoche, Jigdrel Yeshe Dorje Rinpoche. Whilst in Sopema, I went to the retreat place of the Retkong Lama, Sherab Dorje Rinpoche. There I received teachings from him as well as from Dzigar Wangdo Rinpoche. I received many teachings from the Tulku of Taklung Matrul Rinpoche. At Sibri, I received teachings from Sengdrag Tulku. At Nyedun Gatsaoling, I received the complete empowerment and transmission of the Rinjin Tetsod from Kyabje Dilgo Khyentse Rinpoche. In Sikkim, at Nainang Drakar Treeling, I received the Rinchen Tetsod from Dodrupchen Rinpoche, and from Gunchang Tulku Rinpoche I also received many teachings. I received transmission and instructions on the Latsun Druptab cycle from Kyabje Chatral Sangye Dorje Rinpoche. I received both the Chenrezig empowerment according to the Sakya tradition and the empowerment, oral transmission and instruction of Tangtong Gyalpo from Sakya Trizin, the Drolma Pudrang Rinpoche. At Kapung Zangdok Palri Gompa in Kalimpong, I received the Terma cycles of both Dujum Lingpa and Dujum Jigdral Yeshe Dorje Rinpoche from the new incarnation of Jamyang Khyentse. I received teachings from the Bhutanese master Longdrul Rinpoche and the Supreme Dungsi Trinli Norbu Rinpoche. In this way, without discriminating, I received the maturing empowerments, the liberating instructions, and the reinforcing transmissions at the feet of the great masters. I was filled to overflowing with their inconceivable kindness. I put their methods into practice as follows: the common outer and inner preparations, the development stage of Maha Yoga, the activities of approach and accomplishment of the 3 routes, the 5 supplementary Tummo practice cycles of Anu Yoga, Dzogchen, which function through Tsart, Lung and Tigle, the Kore Rushan Dzogchen Ati Yoga cycle of practice, the primordial Trekcha and the spontaneously arisen Togal practices from Dzogchen Semde, Longde and Dzogchen Menakde. I have practiced in Tibet, Bhutan, India, Nepal and Sikkim, in all the places where the Mahasiddhas in India and Tibet lived or visited. I have practiced in the hidden lands blessed by Padmasambhava and Yeshet Sogyo. I have practiced in snow retreats, rocky caves, charnel grounds and lake islands. In all those places I have endured heat and cold. In order to make connections, I have resided wherever Padmasambhava and Yeshet Sogyo stayed. In these places I have completed year-long, month-long and week-long retreats. Knowing of my life, my Dharma friends requested the history of my life and liberation. Furthermore, my English friend Chugyam, the Arrow Tulku, Ngak'chang Rinpoche Gyamtso, sincerely requested an account of my life and the Lamas with whom I have taken refuge. He asked me to describe the places I lived and practices in which I engaged. At his request, I composed this brief history in the 17th Rabjung, the fire rat year, in Nepal, written on computer whilst living at Sogil Gaipoljong near Yanglisha. And finally, Chapter 46, Long Life Wish Path for Kyabje Künzang Dorje Rinpoche and Joma Sampal Dechen, composed by Dungsi Trinli Norbu Rinpoche. Amideva is the Lord of the Pure Land of always flawless ecstasy. The light of his compassion emanates to the heart of the lotus bud beings with merit. May the self-occurring Buddha, second Buddha Padmakara, who is renowned in the universe, protect you. Never affected by the faults of samsara or the qualities of nirvana, there is not even an atom of happiness or suffering. Ever abiding in evenness, it is called always noble Samantabhadra. Self-elements do not exist, not even one particle of substance is formed, so it is called always indestructible Vajra, the nature of the great empty stainless sky of Dharmakaya. From that state might Tsawai Lamas manifest. I bow to you. The 3 deities of Tibet, Padmasambhava, Shantarakshita and King Trisong Detsen, assembled in the glorious, inconceivable qualities of Samye. In order for the Sutra and Mantrayana teachings of Buddha's tradition to flourish in Tibet, they established the two categories of those with red robes and those with white clothes and long plaited hair. There is the long path of the Sutra tradition and the short path of the Vajrayana tradition. From the Vajrayana tradition there are the three special sections of the Mahu Yoga, Anu Yoga and Ati Yoga. Those who predominantly practice these three yogas are of the category of those who wear white clothes and keep long plaited hair. Practicing the tradition of those who wear white clothes and keep long plaited hair, holding this lineage from inspiration, may the lotus feet of the Tsawai Lama, Künzang Dorje Rinpoche, be unshakably firm. Relying on practice with signs of the channels, airs, and the tigle of the visualization and completion stages, carrying the three kayas into the path so they become obviously apparent in self-phenomena, and the completion stage without signs, in the stainless awareness of beginninglessness, flawless great emptiness and its display of simultaneous light phenomena of Buddhas, may you turn the wheel of this teaching. From that fully accomplished quality of the four stages, the existence of the universe of samsara and the pure enlightened phenomena of Buddhas becomes evenly pure, which is the state of Samantabhadra. In one life and one human body, may I have the power to attain the teaching of Mahasandhi. The display of the five wisdoms, the five great elements of space, the quality of display. From that quality, the immeasurable five wisdom dakinis appear. The principal wisdom queen of the innumerable mandalas of wisdom dakinis and supreme consort of Padmasambhava, called Jomo Yeshit Tsogyo, I bow to you. The one who has unshakable faith in you and is practicing you, who is your follower and serving Kyabje Künzang Dorje Rinpoche from the activities of the three rejoicings, like a wish-fulfilling jewel, consort of Kyabje Künzang Dorje Rinpoche, Jomo Sampel, may you live long. Whatever you wish for the benefit of the teachings of Buddhas and for sentient beings, whatever you do, may it be accomplished, and may all beings be sustained in the phenomena of pure Dharma. Colophon. Thus the world of the five great continents melodiously resounds. Residing in the western continent of Europe, an honourable holy hero, Chuyang Gyamtso, and his consort, holy heroine, Khandro Dechen, who have unshakable reasonable faith in the general teachings of the Buddhas, and especially the priceless teachings of the Vajrayana and their lineage holders, are fearlessly shooting the cannonball of logic with great compassion, in order to annihilate and put on the correct path of enlightenment all those wild beings who are misunderstanding, with a reverse point of view and with intention, the teachings of the Buddhas and lineage holders of the teachings of the Buddhas. From their requests through the path of letters, I, Trinley Norbu, immediately wrote this in front of Dakas and Dakinis. So in a short while, soon, we will start reading Volume 2 of Goodbye Forever. If you haven't yet listened to Volume 1 of Goodbye Forever, it's available here. It's on the Dralajong Facebook page, all the readings of that, and I think Jagger will probably put a link to it or something so you can find it easily. It's also available on YouTube, actually. Wisdom ECCENTRICS isn't yet, but Goodbye Forever, the readings of Goodbye Forever are. So you can also find it there. So that's Volume 1 of Goodbye Forever, and Volume 2 will start soon, and we'll post an announcement of the actual start date